Hello, it's Ryan from 2minutetennis.net, and in this video, I'm going to give you 3 simple tips you can copy from the Grigor Dimitrov slice backhand to help improve your slice. Now, first, this footage is courtesy of 12K GP Tennis on YouTube. Make sure you are subscribed to their channel. I put their link in the description below. All right, first tip. When you hit a slice, your goal is at contact to have your racket face very vertical with your strings facing forward. So many players think that the racket's supposed to be wide open, like slicing under the bottom of the ball. It's just not true. I mean, look at a golf club. Watch what happens if you have a golf club and the club is lofted wide open. Where's the ball go? It goes up. When you hit a slice, you want your strings to be very vertical. And in fact, the higher you contact, the more vertical they'll face. The lower you contact, the racket might be a few degrees open more, when it's a lower ball, as much as maybe 10 degrees, but it's still very vertical at contact. So don't think that the racket's supposed to be wide open. Get your racket very vertical. That's really the goal when you're striking the slice. The second idea has to do with your left hand. I shouldn't say that. Your non-hitting hand. Your left hand if you're right-handed. So I want you to watch this. I want you to watch the path of his left hand. So many recreational players struggle with the slice because they can't stay sideways. You want to stay sideways when you hit the slice. You can see him. He's keeping his body to the side as he's hitting this ball. So his body is not rotating, but his body's staying to the side. Left arm, because he's right-handed, is going backward as a counterweight. That actually helps the racket swing out toward the target longer. Now, and it is an accelerant too. It helps accelerate the hitting arm. But here is how he's doing this. If I just take a little circle and just put it where his left hand is, I want you to watch the path of his left hand. His left hand is not going like this. His left hand goes forward with the racket, then goes back. Watch this. Watch his left hand follow the green arrow. Now I'll get rid of everything so you can watch it. It goes forward with the racket, then comes back, which means the majority of his backward movement with his left hand is after he hits the ball. This is absolutely critical. Most players who struggle with their slice let go way too early. They think of the slice as like a one-handed backhand. I want you to almost think of it like you're going to fake the ball out and make the ball think like the ball had eyes and a brain. But you want the ball to think that you're going to hit it with 2 hands, that you're going to keep your non-hitting hand on the racket initially as you start swinging. That actually does help keep your racket more vertical when you get to the ball because you can kind of support the racket head with your non-hitting hand. But when your non-hitting hand comes forward, it then has a place to go back so it can actually become a counterweight. If from here, from this point, if he just dropped his arm down, it wouldn't be a counterweight and it would be happening at the wrong time. He wants the counterweight to begin around the time he's actually hitting. You'll notice that his non-hitting hand starts going backward, and the majority of the backward movement is actually after he hits the ball. That's what keeps the body sideways. Right at the end, right before he contacts the ball, it is an accelerant out toward his target. It is such a key element to all one-handed backhands, not just slice backhands, but topspin as well. And then the last tip I want to give you is notice the high finish. Notice when he's done, right? So he goes down to contact, hits, and then he comes back up. Just like a golfer. A golfer puts backspin on the golf ball, but finishes high. It's the same thing. You want to think of the slice as high, low, high. Don't just chop and keep your racket low. Watch this next one. It's the same thing. See where his racket's finishing? The racket's finishing up. Don't think of the racket just chopping down to the ground. You see a lot of players, they just go straight down toward the ground and like slam the racket against the ground. You want to almost, there's a great coach, Jorge Capistani, and you may have heard of him, just an amazing coach. And he talks about, don't think of chopping high to low, think of going high to level. So you're going high, but then leveling out. And a great way to level out is to make sure you come back up again, because the only way you can go back up is to level out. So your swing becomes more level through contact and then comes back up. So work on your racket being very vertical at contact. So get your racket to be very vertical when you hit the ball. Don't have your racket wide open. Think of your strings like basically facing straight forward at contact. Move your non-hitting hand forward with the racket, and then the majority of the backward movement is actually happening after you hit the ball. That's actually the right timing to keep your body sideways. And then when you're done, finish high. If you work on these simple ideas, there is no doubt you're going to gain confidence, win more matches, and play much better tennis. This is Ryan Reedy from 2minutetennis.net. You got this.